Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Tonight we're going to be breaking down last night's 10-game NBA slate. God, a horrible showing for the core four and for my lineups in general. Not a good day for NBA DFS for me. Hopefully you all had better evenings. It was a very weird slate. I'm talking only one of the stars really came out and shined tonight in a way that would have benefited us greatly in DFS. And we're going to get to him when we talk about our feature four players in just a second. But just a very underwhelming performance from most of the players that we really were looking to pack that scoring punch for us and take us to the top of the leaderboards. So let's go ahead and jump in. And first, we're gonna get this out the way first. This is gonna be a first on a DFS Sweatshop. This has never happened. Never has an entire team, an entire organization, never has a group of basketball players from the association won the Snowflake of the Night award. But tonight, all you motherfuckers, y'all some motherfucking snowflakes. I'm talking to the LA Clippers, all of you, from the top to the bottom, from the motherfucking coach to the coach's son. Y'all a bunch of motherfucking snowflakes. Y'all let the Golden State Warriors come to Staples and smack y'all ass around for 4 straight quarters. This game was over from the beginning. It was over from the beginning, and the lead king snowflake is definitely Blake Griffin. Blake, you a motherfucking snowflake. You let them push you around and punk you for 4 straight quarters. Then in that fourth quarter, you want to get brolic and try to fight somebody. How about you put the motherfucking ball in the basket with your snowflake ass? What were they doing? What were they doing? This was a marquee matchup. You got top billing, the last game on the slate. You all had late night hammer potential. And you go out and you shit yourselves. You let the Golden State second team run circles around your first team. The best players from the Warriors didn't hit a 3 the whole damn game. So if you're telling me, hey, you're going to play against Steph Curry and the Warriors and nobody's going to hit a 3, we going to beat their ass. Y'all a bunch of motherfucking snowflakes. And tonight, Blake, you a king snowflake with your snowflake ass. You jumping over cars and commercials and shit, and you can't put the fucking ball in the basket? Come on, man. Cost me money. Y'all stole from me tonight. Stole from the sweatshop tonight. So now you owe me money. All of you. You all owe me money. Every Clipper. You owe me money. Y'all snowflake ass. Let's go ahead and jump into the who that scoring all the points over there play tonight. Tonight, it's going to go to Eric Gordon of the Houston Rockets. This dude had an excellent game at 5% owned. At 5.3K in salary, he goes out and scores 37 DraftKings points. Now, there were so many blowouts on the slate. This was one that I kind of saw was going to be a blowout. So I rostered people like Sam Decker. I had a little Montrezl Harrell in a couple spots. But I overlooked Eric Gordon. I had him in one lineup, but I should have got more of Eric Gordon. He definitely had a really good game, and he made that 6x value and then some. How did I miss that play tonight is going to go to Tyler Johnson at 6% in ownership, 5.2K. Tyler Johnson went out and he scored 43 DraftKings points. An excellent game from Tyler Johnson. Now, how did I miss that? I can tell you how. Because I wasn't on Dragic, so I immediately was not on Tyler Johnson. I just thought that the pace of the game was going to be slow. I didn't think Atlanta was going to be able to play as well. I just kind of was not on that game at all. I think I didn't have anybody in that game. I had Thabo Sefolosha in a couple lineups because I didn't like Tim Hardaway Jr. as a starter. So the heat check play tonight is definitely going to go to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now we're talking 27% ownership. Everybody was on him. We all knew that he could erupt and have a really great game. He went out and had a tough go in the first quarter, but he eventually righted the ship, and he finished the game with 61.5 DraftKings points, and that's why tonight you, Giannis Antetokounmpo, are the heat check player of the night. Now, normally I'd go into my best lineup. They all sucked. It was a horrible evening for me. I think my best lineup scored like 265 DraftKings points, and I won back like $6 off of a $50 buy-in. So it was a horrible night for me. The spreadsheets were popping, and see, this is the worst part about it. This is the worst. Matter of fact, no, I gotta show you. I'm gonna show you because I like to keep it honest. I gotta show you. Yeah, let's take a look. We're gonna go in here and take a look at the lineups. Where. This is the worst. The worst part about this is when your scrubs, when you decide to kind of go stars and scrubs, not all the way, but your lineup could definitely be classified as a stars and scrubs lineup, and your scrubs hit, like all your scrubs play well. Nah, this one. Okay, let's look at this lineup. This was my main line. This was the one I had in my single entry GPPs, right? We had Big Game Dame goes out, scores 49.25 DraftKings points. Wayne Ellington, scrub, gives you 27.75. Andre Iguodala gives you 24.5 at that very low price point he had. Clint Capella goes out and gives you 33.25 DraftKings points. Sam Decker, somebody you had your eye on, gives you 27. Darren Williams gives you 33. Fire. Well, look at these two motherfuckers. Chris Paul and Kevin Durant. Now, it ain't too much Kevin Durant's fault because they just blew the other team out. But this is why it really hurts. If all of these guys had played like shit and the lineup just sucked, I wouldn't have cared. The night would have been over earlier. I would have started my research. I'd have been fine. It happens. But when you hit on your scrubs and the stars are not who they're supposed to be, that stings a little bit. It does. So let us go ahead and jump into a very brief. We're going to try to roll through last night's games as quickly as possible. And I got to tell you, the reason why we do this, the reason why we recap the games is so we got to know where we've been in order to know where we're trying to get to. So we're going to start tonight with the first game on the slate. It is the Charlotte Hornets at home, and they were going up against the Detroit Pistons. We saw a really great game from Andre Drummond. Dude, 20 on him, had 26 points and 20 boards to go with 2 blocks and an assist. Really nice game from him. Marcus Morris grabbed 10 boards and had 7 points with 2 assists. Nice game from him. We saw a pretty decent game from Tobias Harris. He had 7 boards and 14 points to go with 2 assists. And we also saw Reggie Jackson for a little bit longer, 25 minutes for him tonight, and he had 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists with a block. When he gets back to full strength, he's going to be somebody that we can definitely roster with confidence in this Detroit offense. We didn't see much off of the Detroit bench, but tonight on the Charlotte side, the Hoes showed up. Kemba balled. He played well. He played very well. In 33 minutes, he had 25 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Nice game from him. Nick Batum actually had a really nice game, 14 points, 15 boards, and 3 assists. And that was his second 15 rebound game in a row. Pretty nice string of games we saw recently from Nick Batum. Didn't see too much else on the Charlotte side, but Marvin Williams did come back healthy, and he did look good. He knocked down a few shots and had 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 steal. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Orlando Magic at the crib with the Boston Celtics knocking on the door. Now, we knew the Celtics weren't at full strength, of course. because Isaiah Thomas wasn't in the game, but it really didn't stop them from playing well. I mean, every starter was in double digits as far as the points were concerned. And Jay Crowder had a nice game, 17 points and 10 boards for him. Avery Bradley had 23 and 4 to go with 3 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. Marcus Smart 13 and 3 with 3 assists and 2 steals. We saw a nice game from Terry Rozier off of the bench at that minimum salary, 13 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist. Nice game from him. Al Horford, he had a decent game, but not what you would expect at that price point. He had 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists to go with 2 blocks. Pretty decent game from him. Jaylen Brown also dunked on a cat. He ripped one, a nice dunk on a cat, and he had 13 points and 2 rebounds to go with 1 assist. On the Orlando side, Serge Ibaka was definitely in the running to be a snowflake. He had 8 points to go with 8 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. Not a nice game from him at all. We saw Nikolai Vucevic, another double-double off of the bench again. 10 boards to go with 12 points, 2 assists, 2 steals. Nice game from Nikolai Vucevic. Those of you that chased that Elfrid Payton 40-point explosion from the other night, you were sorely disappointed with the 10 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal he had tonight. DJ Augustine in 23 minutes had 15 points to go with a rebound and 2 assists. And Evan Fournier started off shooting pretty hot, but he cooled off because the game was a blowout. He had 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Brooklyn Nets at home against the Denver Nuggets. And this is the most frustrating part of being a DFS analyst. I consider myself an analyst. I do analyze the game. I looked at last night's video, and I spoke so highly of this game, about how I thought I would be able to get in and stack up this game. And I like Yusuf Nurkic. Well, then when the news came out that Jokic was going to be starting, of course, I didn't like him as much. I pivoted in most spots. I mean, I had him almost locked in. He was 80% in all of my lineups. And by the time lock approached, he might have been in 10%. So I definitely should have gotten way bigger pieces of this game than I did. I talked about it in my initial player pool review. When we talk about the player pricing, we're going to do that in a minute. I should have done that, man, because actually the places I would have gone probably wouldn't have netted me too much profit, but I knew Wilson Chandler was going to be a great play, and he went out, man, and balled. 15 boards, 27 points to go with a steal. Nice game from him. Pretty good game from Jokic, man. He had 14 points, 11 boards, and 3 assists. Nice game from him. Will Barton had 15 and 9 to go with 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. And we also saw Jameer Nelson score 14 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists to go with 2 steals. And Jamal Murray, in his 33 minutes, had a pretty decent game for his price point. I believe he was at 3.9K, and he had 12 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists to go with a steal. Nice game from Jamal Murray. On the Brooklyn side, man, Brook Lopez, man, he went off. He had 24 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. We also saw a nice double-double from Trevor Booker. He had 15 points, 12 boards, and 5 assists to go with a steal. Nice game from him. Joe Harris, man, he got into the mix, I believe, at very close to minimum salary. He had 16 points, 2 boards, and 2 steals. And Sean Kilpatrick was second on the team in scoring. He had 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists to go with a steal. Brian Bogdanovich had 19 points, a rebound, and 3 assists. Nice game from him. So there was a ton of great shit in this game, man. And if you capitalized on it, I'm sure you approached the cash line and hopefully the 300 club tonight. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Atlanta Hawks at home against the Miami Heat. On the Miami side, man, the stars did not go off, man. I mean, something told me to fade Whiteside. I did. He had 8 points and 12 boards. Rodney McGruder had a good game in 30 minutes, 11 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block. Wayne Ellington, 19 and 3 with 2 assists. But the story of this game was Tyler Johnson, man. How did I miss that play? He went out and jumped off of the bench in 35 minutes, had 27 points, led the team in scoring, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. Pretty nice game from him. Goran Dragic did chip in 21 points, and he had 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. On the Atlanta side, we saw an excellent, dominating performance from Dwight Howard. because Whiteside and Howard were in the game, I kind of faded them both. That was a huge mistake because Dwight Howard in 35 minutes, he pulled down 17 boards, had 4 assists, a steal, 2 blocks, and 23 points. And watching the game, this was the first time this season that him and Millsap looked like they played well together. I mean, I'm sure that they've had games where they both had nice stat lines, but this game, it looked like they were actually playing well together and playing off of each other. Paul Millsap had 21 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 steals, and 3 blocks. Great game from him. Stavros Efalosha, who I did like in this game and had him in a few spots, he had 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal. Tim Hardaway Jr. was supposed to be the cheap chalker today, but he had 7 points and 2 assists to go with a steal. And Dennis Schroeder played another nice game from him. 17 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block for him. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Milwaukee Bucks at home against the Portland Trailblazers. Yet another game that I talked about on last night's show that I really wanted to get a piece of. And I did. I think my very best lineup, I think, had a semi-stack of both of these teams. We're going to start on the Portland side. Mason Plumlee got a small double-double, but he did get 4 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks. So he had a really nice game with the 10 points and the 10 rebounds. We saw Dame almost have a Dame game, almost. He had 30 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. Nice game from him. Allen Crabbe chipped in 14 and 4 off of the bench, with C.J. McCollum second on the team in scoring with 23 points, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds. Pretty nice game from him. We saw a limited amount of Al-Farouq Amino, and I think that's how it's going to be for the next couple of games while they get him back into the rotation. Mo Harkless had 11, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals. Pretty decent game from him there too. On the Milwaukee side, the Heat check player tonight had his second triple-double of the season. We are talking about Giannis with 11 assists, 12 rebounds, and 15 points to go with 4 blocks and 2 steals. Nice game from Giannis Antetokounmpo. Jabari Parker was a really good play. He had 27 points to go with 3 rebounds and 1 assist. Nice play, nice game from him. We saw Greg Monroe for about 22 minutes. He had 15 points and 4 rebounds to go with an assist and 3 steals. And Delly got into it with 23 minutes of scoring for him. He had 17 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Nice game from Matthew Dellavedova. We also saw Mike Beasley and Malcolm Brogdon for about 22 minutes apiece. And Beasley had 12 points and 8 boards, man. That was a nice game from him. Brogdon had 13 and 3 assists with 2 steals, a block, and 1 rebound. So pretty good game all around for the Milwaukee Bucks side. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Houston Rockets at home against the LA Lakers. Now, I had a feeling all day long this was going to be a blowout. I really did. I did not expect people like I did not expect Patrick Beverley to play that many minutes. He played 31 minutes and had 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 12 assists. I mean, he flirted with a triple-double. He was out there like almost the entire time. So he had 3 steals as well. Didn't see much from James Harden. Didn't have to. I mean, he got 50 DraftKings points, but he had 25 real-life points to go with 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and 4 steals. We saw an excellent game from Eric Gordon. That's why he was the who dat scoring all them points over there player tonight. He had 26 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists, and he hit 8 threes in this game. That was a really nice look on DraftKings where you get that extra half a point for the 3-pointers. Not much from Trevor Ariza or Ryan Anderson. Sam Dekker, my main man, came off of the bench and had 12 points and 8 rebounds with 4 assists. And Montrezl Harrell was somebody that I really wanted to take advantage of him being at that minimum salary in the blowout, but he didn't get much run because Nene was back, and he had 18 minutes while Montrezl Harrell only had 8. On the LA Lakers side, Luol Deng, man, he stunk up the joint. He only had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, and 2 steals. Julius Randle had a nice game with 21 points and 10 boards to go with an assist. And we also saw Lou Williams off of the bench. He scored 24 points, but he didn't do shit else. And see, that's what's been getting them big DraftKings performances. Because we already know that Lou can score. But when he's like rebounding the ball and maybe getting a few assists or a steal here and there, maybe a block or two, that's when you really get, a nice ceiling from Lou Williams. Jordan Clarkson, man, he had a horrible game, and he led the team in minutes. He played 35 minutes, and it was 35 minutes of bullshit, bro. He had 7 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and maybe that was because he was up against Patrick Beverley a lot during the game, but he did not have a good game at all. We didn't see much else from the LA Lakers, as this was a huge 39-point blowout. The next game we're going to get into is my New York Knicks at MSG at the Garden, getting pounded and beat down by the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron James did not have the LeBron game that everybody was saying he was going to have all week. I didn't think he would, only because I didn't think he would need to. This Knicks team is a bad team, and we were going to get blown out. I saw it coming from the gate. He had 25 points, 6 boards, and 7 assists to go with a steal and 2 blocks. Tristan Thompson, man, this dude had 20 boards. He had 20 fucking boards and 3 points. Come on, man. 20 boards and 3 points. 1 assist, 2 steals, and 1 block. I mean, it was a nice game because he got 20 rebounds, but come on, man. Get a double-double, bro. Kyrie Irving, in his 30 minutes, had 28 points, 2 rebounds, and 6 assists. And Kevin Love kind of underwhelmed for the price he was at, but he did have 21 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Pretty okay game for Kevin Love. We saw about 23 minutes of Iman Shumpert. He had 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 14 points. And this is all while J.R. Smith was out with an apparent knee injury. On the New York Knicks side, we saw 23 minutes of Carmelo Anthony. Dude had 8 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block. Horrible game from him. We saw 29 minutes of Porzingis. He had 12 points and 3 boards. Not good at all. Brandon Jennings was the only bright spot on this team because he was so cheap. And he led the team in scoring with 16 points and 4 rebounds to go with 3 assists. Of course, we know the reason why he played so much was because Derrick Rose sat this game out after having back spasms. The next game we're going to get to is the Dallas Mavericks at the crib against the Sacramento Kings. This is another game I projected to be a blowout. I didn't even think that Boogie was going to play this well, but he did, man. He played 32 minutes in this big blowout, and he had 24 points and 14 rebounds to go with 7 assists, 3 blocks. Nice game from him. Rudy Gay was somebody who I really targeted a lot in this game because he runs a lot with the second team, even when it blows out. But he's played 30 minutes, but he didn't do a lot with it. He had 19 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. Darren Collinson, he likes to hit the chicks, but he did chip in tonight with 19 points and 3 rebounds to go with 3 assists. Pretty decent game from him. Omri Caspi, in his 18 minutes, had 10 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists. And Garrett Temple chipped in 17 points and 3 rebounds with 3 assists in 26 minutes. On the Dallas side, the only guy that I rostered from this game was I had Powell in the spots and also had Darren Williams. I like Darren Williams in this spot today, and he did have 20 points, 2 rebounds, and 6 assists. And Powell, off of the bench in 24 minutes, had 6 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block. So he got involved in every area on the stat line. Pretty good game from him. Not much from Harrison Barnes. 32 minutes for him. He had 11 points and 4 boards with an assist. And Wesley Matthews had 16 points, 4 rebounds, and a triple one with an assist, steal, and a block. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Phoenix Suns at home against the Indiana Pacers. We were on Paul George the whole time. And, I did something that I normally don't allow to happen. I let a lot of shit get me off of Paul George, Wilson Chandler, and a couple other cats. But this one kind of hurt because you don't get these Paul George games, very frequently nowadays. But he went out tonight and had a great one. 25 points, 13 boards, 1 assist, 3 steals. He was in a prime matchup here. Jeff Teague also had an excellent game, 19 points and 11 assists to go with 5 rebounds and 2 steals. Miles Turner, man, he was banging out threes. He had 20 points and 4 rebounds with a steal and 2 blocks. Nice game from him. Thad Young fell a rebound and a point shy of the double-double bonus. He had 9 and 9 with 1 block. And Rodney Stuckey off of the bench had 12 points and 3 rebounds to go with an assist and a steal. On the Phoenix side, never really liked Bledsoe that much in this game, so I didn't really have him anywhere. And he only had 15 points and 3 boards to go with 4 assists and 3 steals. The brightest spot probably in this game was Tyson Chandler. He had 10 and 10 with 2 assists and 2 steals. Not much from Marcus Chris in his 19 minutes, 10 and 3 with 2 steals. And Devin Booker didn't look very, very good in this game as well. He had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal for him. The next game we're going to get into is the last game on the slate, And this is the Snowflake game where a bunch of motherfuckers got together and decided not to try at home against the Golden State Warriors, and they got their asses whipped. There's two guys that kind of was into the game and didn't want to just get the shit kicked out of them. And that was DeAndre Jordan and Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford had 21 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists, and he led the team in scoring. DeAndre Jordan had 10 and 12 with 2 blocks. Blake Griffin, 12 and 9 with 2 assists and 1 steal with his snowflake ass. And Chrissy Paul, man, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 steal. Not much from him at that price point. But we did see Mo Buckets. There was some scrub love off of the bench, man. Mo Buckets against his former team had 15 and 9. So that was a pretty decent game from him at that price point. On the Golden State side, the snowflakiness from the Clippers definitely spilled over to the Golden State roster because they didn't have to do much to beat the shit out of them, man. And Klay Thompson, he led the team in scoring, had 24, 4, and 3. Steph Curry had 7 steals in this game, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and 19 points. We saw a nice game from Andre Iguodala off the bench. He had 10 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. And we only saw 31 minutes of KD, and he put in work while he was out there, but it just wasn't out there long enough, and the minutes weren't meaningful, so he didn't have to score much. He had 16 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and 1 steal. Now that we have gone through that quick recap of last night's games, let's go ahead and take a moment and jump into the player pricing from tomorrow, because of course I am tilting off of that loss, and I am raring to go, ready to tackle tomorrow's 6-game slate. Now, it's a shorty tomorrow now. We got a short slate tomorrow, so you can play at your own risk. It's not so short that I won't be involved in it, or I'm just going to be stacking, or I'm actually going to come out with a player pool, of course, and of course a core 4 for tomorrow, and we're going to have a better day. Let's go ahead and jump into this. We're going to highlight all, so we want to see what we have here on tomorrow's slate. And as you can tell, the most expensive play on the slate is Anthony Davis at 11.8. This is against Philadelphia 76ers. Joel Embiid is going to be playing, but a lot of times on the slate this small, you cannot ignore that type of talent. So I do like Anthony Davis tomorrow. He probably will be seeing maybe some Ilya Silva or something like that. So I don't know if he's gonna be matching up with Joel Embiid. I really don't think so. So I like him at 11.8K. I think he's going to be a decent play tomorrow. John Wall at 9.5 is next. We've got Kevin Durant. I like that as well. I love that John Wall. He showed us on the last slate that you just rostered. You just play him. You just play John Wall. Just play him. 9.5 for him. You've got KD at Utah at 9.3. Now it could be some resting tomorrow, so we want to be on the lookout because I believe they're playing 4 games in 5 days. So we could have some resting from the Golden State side. We got Karl Anthony Towns at Toronto at 8.8. I love that play. Gordon Hayward, depending on who rests in the Golden State game, which is going to be a later game. I think it's a 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's going to be one of the later games. So we want to get that information. If we don't have that information by lock, then I'm not going to be playing anybody from that game. But I want to know who's resting for the Golden State side before I roster people from Utah. We got Steph Curry at 8.4. Not going like that. Dame Lillard at 8.3 against Memphis. Kyle Lowry, 8.2. Probably one of my favorite plays, my favorite point guard plays on the slate. We've got DeMar DeRozan at 8.1. I don't like that. We've got Jimmy Butler, San Antonio. Not only is this the San Antonio game, they're playing against San Antonio. Not only that, but it's him and Kawhi against each other. They're kind of cancel each other out. They're both 8K and 7.9. I don't want any part of either one of them. We got Marc Gasol matching up against Mason Plumlee at 7.7. Plumlee is on a back-to-back, so I kind of do like Marc Gasol in this game. He has become the only real scoring option on that team, so we have to take advantage of Marc Gasol whenever we can. We've got Joel Embiid at 7.5. That is a new rule in the sweatshop. We just play Embiid. As long as he is like one of the lower price centers, he's under these guys, we just play Embiid. 7.5 for him. We've got Draymond Green at 7.3. Don't like that too much. Klay Thompson, and remember, like I said, we got to find out if these guys are going to be playing or resting. George Hill should be out tomorrow. You know, Mike Conley is out. Brad Beal, the price is down on him, 300. He's down to 6.7. I like him against Washington. That game kind of spells Washington stack. Maybe a little Wall, Beal, Porter. I like that. We've got Will Barton at 6.6. The price is fairly decent for him. CJ McCollum at 6.6. I like that against Memphis. We've got Otto. Actually, no. Tony Allen. I don't like that. I like Tony Allen in that matchup for cheaper. We got Otto Porter. And I like Tony Allen because he's a great defender. And CJ McCollum sees so much usage that Tony Allen's going to get a lot of opportunities to make defensive plays in this game. Otto Porter at 6.5. I like that against Denver. Andrew Wiggins at 6.4. He's definitely in play against Toronto. Wilson Chandler. Just play Wilson Chandler. Just do it. It's a short slate. Just play him. Stack this game if you want to. We got Drew Holiday is questionable. He may be out tomorrow at 6.2. We've got Zach LaVine at 6.1. He is playable against Toronto. He's gonna be matched up with DeMar DeRozan, so he's definitely playable tomorrow. We've got D Wade 6K going against San Antonio. No, I don't want none of that. LaMarcus Aldridge maybe at 6K because the price is going down on him. He may be a decent play tomorrow. You got Tyreek Evans is out. JaMychal Green might be a decent play against Portland at the Grindhouse. Danilo Gallinari, I do not like him tomorrow. Martin Gortat is definitely in play. Rajon Rondo at 5.7. See, that's a trap. They're trying to trick us because the price is low. He went from 6,500 to 5.7 against San Antonio. That's a trap. I'm not falling for that shit tomorrow. We got Ersan Ilyasova at 5.7 against Anthony Davis. I do not like that very much. Tim Frazier. Now, if Holiday doesn't play, I like Tim Frazier tomorrow. Gorgie Jang at 5.5. He is definitely in play at that price point. Zach Randolph at 5.3 is in play against his old team. This is a revenge game for Zach Randolph. Taj Gibson at 5.2, no. Dario Saric, 5.2, no. Markieff Morris deserves consideration at 5.1 against Denver. Kenneth Faried, 5.1. He left tonight's game early, or he just didn't start. They started Darrell Arthur in the second half. We have to check and see what that was all about. Sergio at 5.1. He's playable. Pau Gasol against his former team. That's another revenge narrative. You may want to check on that. Nikola Jokic at 5K. I love that tomorrow. I actually like him better than Yusuf Nurkic. If Nurkic was out and Jokic was in on tonight's slate, I would have him everywhere. I just loved the center matchup from last night's slate. And when Jokic was supposed to be out, I was like, yeah, I'll go with Nurkic. But I love Jokic as the better player. I like him tomorrow at 5K. We've got Mo Harkless at 5K. Not really in play against Memphis. Wing defense. Emmanuel Mudiay. He is dead to me, bro. I didn't even start him tonight. Based off what he did to you, what he did to y'all. Emmanuel Mudiay, he's a young player. But right now, he's dead to me. Andrew Harrison at 4.9. You can chase that if you want to. Ricky Rubio at 4.9. I like him. He shit a brick against San Antonio the other night, so I don't think people are going to be on him. But I do like Ricky Rubio tomorrow. I like him. Jonas Valanciunas at 4.9 is definitely in play against Karl Anthony Towns. That's just too cheap for a talent that good. We need to check to see what's going on with his minutes to make sure nothing awry. Jameer Nelson at 4.7. He may deserve some consideration. Terrence Jones, not for me. Robin Lopez, no. Nurkic, no. Joe Johnson, no. Tony Allen, yes. I like Tony Allen tomorrow. I love Tony Allen tomorrow. He's going to be one of my favorite players on the slate. Damari Carroll, no. Troy Williams, no. Shelvin Mack, no. Rashawn Holmes, no. Jamal Murray, he's still questionable, but I like him. He's in play tomorrow at 4K flat. He only went up 100 after having that pretty good game last night. Al Farouk, no. Pat, he's playable. Cole Aldridge, no. Sauce, no. Sauce is dead to me as well. Trey Lyles is an interesting play at 3.8 up against Utah because the game could blow out. And he's a young player. They're going to want him to see him get some run. He's definitely in consideration if we think it's going to be a blowout there. Gerald Henderson, one of my favorite shooting guard pump plays he's always going to be around 3.5, 3.7K. No matter, he can drop 50 and he'll be like 3.8. Solomon Hill, no. Jarian Grant, no. Manu Ginobili, I think he's in play against Chicago Bulls at 3.6. I like that. Danny Green, 3.5, definitely in play against the Bulls. I like him. David Lee, something to look at. So the pickings are kind of slim, of course, because it's a 6-game slate. So we've got to really do our research going into tonight's 6-game slate. We gotta do our research. We gotta know what we're getting ourselves into. So the way we do that, the first thing we do is we start with the point totals. We go ahead and we look at point totals for each game and see which games we would like to invest the most salary in. So we're going to start in Toronto at the Air Canada Center, where the Toronto Raptors will be giving up 7 points to the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is a 214 point total. We know Minnesota likes to get up and down the floor, and I don't trust that -7. I think this game can go down to the wire, and I think it's going to be a full 4-quarter game for everybody involved. So I like a lot in this game. The only person that I really am dead set against not playing is going to be DeMar DeRozan. I don't like DeMar DeRozan tomorrow, but I do like the Minnesota backcourt. I like Levine. I like Rubio. I even like Wiggins in this game. Cat may be a decent play. Gorgie Jang may be a decent play. I like a lot about this Minnesota team going to the Air Canada Center on such a short slate. On Toronto side, I like Kyle Lowry, and Jonas Valanciunas might receive some consideration from me when it comes to building my rosters. Remember, it's a 214 point total. I believe this is the highest point total on the slate. Oh, it's the second highest on the slate, but it's the first game, so it's going to get a lot of consideration. Cat's going to be all over this one. Next game is going to be the Denver Nuggets going to the Washington Wizards. Now, the Wizards have had a day of rest. Denver's on a back-to-back. But these are all good young players involved in these games. That back-to-back shit don't matter, man. These dudes are young, spry ballers, bro. So we don't have to really worry about the back-to-back in this situation. It's a 218-point total with Washington, the home favorite, giving up 6 points to the Denver Nuggets. Now, I love John Wall in this spot. He's probably going to be immediate core 4 play. I definitely like John Wall tomorrow, but stay tuned. I'll let you know for sure around midday tomorrow. So I do like John Wall. I like Bradley Beal in this game. That price has come down just inside the 6K. So I do like Brad Beal tomorrow. And if I'm stacking this game, I'm gonna have to choose between Markieff Morris, Gortat, and Otto Porter. Otto Porter didn't have a really good game out last time, and a lot of the defenders, the Denver's strengths come from the wing defenders. So I may want to attack, especially if they roll Nurkic out there to start. I may want to attack them first and foremost with Gortat. So a nice stack I think will be Wall, Beal, Gortat. I think I like that just off first glance. On the Denver side, I think Jamal Murray is going to be in play. I'm going to play Wilson Chandler tomorrow, as well as Nikola Jokic is going to be in play for me as well. Next game we're going to get into, excuse me, I'm tired, it's late, but we got to do it. Show must go on. Win, lose, or draw. Y'all need me, and I need y'all. The show must go on. I do it for the sweatshop. Next game we're going to get into is the Portland Trailblazers going to the Grindhouse to take on the Memphis Grizzlies. This is a 205.5 point total. Remember, Mike Conley is not here. This team is not as good against point guards as they were when they had Mike Conley. So you can definitely fire up your boy Dame Lillard in this game. Tony Allen is back, so that does affect perimeter defense as far as CJ McCollum is concerned. So I do not like McCollum very much, but I think you can definitely go Dame Lillard. You can go. You can even go Mason Plumlee. You can go Mason Plumlee if you like. I'm not going to start him at all tomorrow, but I do like Marc Gasol. The guy's been playing so hot, and I think he understands he's the only option this team has. So him, and then getting Zach Randolph back will take a little pressure off of him in the low post, and you can see him actually, work and do some moves down there. So I do like Marcus Gasol, and I like Zebo for that matter. You know, you're just dealing with the loss of his mother, and this is a home game. The crowd really loves him. They're gonna be cheering him on. So I do like Zach Randolph tomorrow. I would go if I could go anywhere. Three places I would take in this game. I would go Dame Lillard. I would go Zach Randolph, and I would go Marcus Gasol with some consideration to Tony Allen, who I really like in this game too. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers traveling to New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. It's a 203.5 point total, with the New Orleans Pelicans, the home favorite, giving up 9 points to the Philadelphia 76ers. We're going to see Embiid. There's a new rule in the sweatshop just came out. Just play Joel Embiid. Just play him. And that's what we're going to do. We're just going to play him. Now, if Embiid plays, I like him kind of clogging up that middle and giving Sergio Rodriguez somebody to pass to. And if Jared Bayless is out again with that wrist issue, we can definitely look to that cheaper point guard option in Sergio Rodriguez. I don't know how I feel about the wing players like Ersan Ilyasova and Dario Saric, because they're going to be running up on Anthony Davis. So I don't think I'll be going that route, but I do like Anthony Davis in this game. I probably don't have the cojones to up that 11.8K in many spots. I might have him in a lineup, but that price is very high. But I think he's in line for a really good game. I do. The next game is going to be the Golden State Warriors going to Utah to take on the Jazz. We know the Utah Jazz likes to slow it down, but we also know that the Golden State Warriors don't give a fuck. They will just shoot that shit out. So I'm not fucking with this game too much. The only way that I would really involve myself, like invest salary in this game, is if we get word that some key players on the Golden State side are out. Like if we find out that KD's not playing, or Draymond and somebody else is not playing, then only then would I, really make a hard push to roster on either side of the ball. If that's the case, I mean, you take KD out, I like Gordon Hayward. You take Draymond out, I like Rudy Gobert a lot. That he's gonna be going up against Zaza Pachulia. That's probably the only person that I could roster if nothing changes. Like if they're full strength, both teams. Only person I really could look at was Rudy Gobert, because he's been playing very well lately, and he will destroy Zaza Pachulia in the low post. The last game we're going to talk about is the San Antonio Spurs at the Chicago Bulls. I love to have a late night hammer, but I don't see one in this game. I really don't. Unless we get word that Pop is going to be sitting somebody early in the day, like way before lock, I don't see myself going too far into this game at all. The only thing I like is the narrative part where you've got Paul Gasol going back to Chicago. It's a 199 point total. I believe the lowest point total on the slate, with the San Antonio Spurs only giving up 3 points to the Bulls. Jimmy Butler is going to be in a lot of people's minds to play, but I won't touch him tomorrow. Nor will I mess with Dwayne Wade. I would like Rajon Rondo, just because he would be a really nice contrarian play, because everybody's so down on him after that shitty performance he had the other night. Plus, going up against San Antonio is also going to decrease the projected ownership on him. So he's the only person that I would kind of flirt with playing on the Chicago side. On the San Antonio side, of course, we talked about Paul Gasol, LaMarcus Aldridge. Chicago's not a very good shooting team. It's going to be a ton of rebounds. So I would like those guys for those purposes. I would like Paul Gasol and LaMarcus Aldridge for those purposes. I wouldn't mess with Kawhi Leonard. The price is going to be a little too high for him, for what I would need for him to do, and the point total is just too low. So it's scaring me off of the game already. Now, we have gone through to tonight's 6 games of NBA action. It's going to be a really, really nice slate to get into. I, of course, am your DFS Jerusalem. If you'd like to support the show, there are many ways to do it. You're actually doing it the best way right now by giving me a voice and tuning in on YouTube. But there's a little box over there. It's called Support the Show. You're more than welcome to click that box and support the show monetarily in any way, from a penny to $1 million, however you want to do it. We've also got some sweatshop swag that we've been selling and getting rid of. Really, really nice stuff. Some t-shirts, 100% gilded cotton t-shirts and hoodies that everybody's been purchasing. We've also got a really nice website we just got up. It's www.dfssweatshop.com. If you are not a subscribed member, if you're just a YouTube family member and you want to take our relationship to the next level, you are more than welcome to go to the website, log in there. After your paid subscription fee, you will be able to access the inside stuff from the DFS Sweatshop. I'm talking player pools, spreadsheets, the daily core 4, not just my core 4 picks, but the actual roster building strategy to where you can create your own core 4 and you don't have to use mine. Because if you use mine tonight, you were a little upset. That's why we've taught people to do it themselves, and that's why people are still making money even when I'm not. Because it's not just about me making money, it's about the whole fan, right? So there's many ways to support the show. I thank you in every way that you have already done. Tonight, Kimba, the host, was there. Remember that? That was pretty good. The Snowflake Clippers really destroyed a lot of lineups, but it's okay because bankroll management is key. That is another aspect that we definitely teach in depth on the website. So just go ahead, man, and stick with me, man. Rock with me, man. It's going well. And remember, in the DFS Sweatshop, the number one thing we do is we always, 7 days a week, keep it 300.